Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to an honest review of 2007's 30 Days of Night. As always, there's going to be some spoilers ahead, so you have been warned.
Before we jump into the episode, if you're watching on YouTube, you can now find us on all major podcast services, so you can listen along and subscribe over there too. And if you're listening on one of your favourite podcast services, we also have all of our episodes over on YouTube. Now that's out the way, Kofi, tell us about the plot of this one.
We're taken to a really small town in Alaska, just above the Arctic Circle, and every single year, darkness lasts for 30 days, and on the first night of darkness, some vampires appear and attack the village, and the film begins, as films do.
Why the fuck are vampires choosing to go there? The film doesn't even fucking explain why they are there, how they got there, why they'd go somewhere 80 kilometres in the middle of fucking snow. The same for that ship in the beginning. What the fuck is that ship about? What do they have, like a vampire cruise line, like fucking Hotel Transylvania, just cruising around the fucking ocean until they get hungry enough to stop off? But anyway, what did you fucking boys reckon about this shit show?
If you could pick any country on God's green earth that this film was filmed in, would you ever think it would be New fucking Zealand?
Oh, mate, that's pissed me off even more.
What, mate? Tell us the budget, please.
Okay, budget is...
What the fuck has happened? No, hold on. Okay, you sound like a game show host.
Come on down.
Paul O'Grady. Alright, you dirty slag, here's your budget. It's an absolutely direct copy of Eight-Legged Freaks. $30 million.
And they couldn't get some fucking flights to a cold country.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll go to one of the nicest climates on Earth. Some of our characters in this arrive who aren't particularly that good. We have Eben, the town sheriff. I heard his name as Evan, and then the more I heard it, I thought people were mispronouncing it. It's because it's Eben.
Yeah.
No, it was Evan, but their lips are cold.
You've got like some sleepaway camp level handling of vehicles, because you've got this lass, Stella, and she's like driving through the barren, snowy wilderness with zero distractions possible, other than a big fucking massive bright yellow icebreaker truck coming smashing her side on. What the fuck?
I think I know why.
It's
because Sheila goes out with her mate Stella, and it gets poured all over her fella. Because
Yes, if it ain't no better,
than the next man kicking up fuss.
That was fucking hell, that was amazing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I gotta say though, although they look like tramps, I really like the look of the vampires.
Agreed.
There's like quite a savage bit in it where they like use a woman to help them find, the prey. And when the prey run out, they then just kind of like toy with her, like slashing her body, like I guess a cat would with like a bird that they've caught.
Yeah,
and they're like keeping her alive just for their own like sadistic enjoyment. I really like how they portrayed the vampires instead of it just being like this, like a typical vampire film where it's just very much like they're just very still and upright wandering around and then biting people. They were like they were portrayed as like animals in this film, and I thought it was really well done.
And they had a lot of intelligence as well. They like acted like predatory rather than just mindless.
Yeah, it feels like a pack, doesn't it?
It does. That's a perfect word for it. Yeah.
Thank you.
The special effects are actually quite good in it, with, a couple of the deaths in there. What I quite like is that people die. When they die, it takes a lot of effort for it to happen. Like, Eben usually uses an axe to, take people out. But it's never, one hit and they're dead. It has to be multiple hits. And it just makes it feel a lot more, visceral and, just nasty.
Eben kills that guy called Billy, doesn't he? And he uses the axe to go on his neck. And the special effects on that are proper good.
Oh, is that, in the room where it's, a big sort of mechanical grinder thing in the floor?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And he just whacks him on the side. Should call him Nearly Headless Billy. His head is so nearly on, but it's brutal. It's a really good kill.
It is, yeah. I mean, the vampire kills are pretty cool as well, because sometimes they do just the standard, bite in the neck. But there's a couple in there where they'll just flat out just break someone's neck.
Yeah.
Like the guy who comes in, he's a weird fella, and he comes into the diner, and he's sort of just a weird kind of character. And he gets handcuffed to the prison bars in inside like the little police station there. And he has a few like really well acted scenes where he's just like a dickhead saying like nasty things about what the vampires are gonna do. The head vampire who comes in and just snaps his fucking neck clean.
Yeah.
Everyone who dies in this film, it's always a nasty, fucking cruel death, but like I quite enjoyed that element to it.
Yeah, 100%.
There's only one like big funny thing I can think about is you know when they go in and they find a little girl and she's turned into a vampire.
In the shop was that?
Yeah,
I think they were going like
I think
supply
it's Evan
hunting.
goes in, he's got the axe, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And he decides to swing the axe at the child as if he was swinging the fucking axe at an adult in the belly, but he misses the fucking girl because she's 2 foot tall.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's like standing there and he's like braced, ready for whatever's about to run out the room. Surely, like, he's still got enough time to make his axe go downwards instead of sideways.
He sees the girl on the floor first, and then she looks at him and he's like, oh my god, she's a vampire. And then swings over her head. No. What are you doing?
I think one of my favourite bits was there's like a big guy who, I'm just going to call him Stuart because he looked a bit like me. Yeah, but he,
What, like Buller?
yeah, he looks like Buller. Fucking Buller. But this big bearded fucker gets in his JCB and he just like plows everything down in his way. But his aim with the shotgun is fucking unreal. Like things jump at him and he's just like poof out the air, just fucking nails it. It's fucking incredible. But he's got like bear traps on the outside, like strapped to the JCB. He's got a big old fucking chainsaw thing on the front. But then the one thing that he gets wrong is he can't drive, so he just crashes straight into a shop. Or it's like or like a pub or whatever it is, which seems to pretty much kill him just by crashing through the door.
Yeah, hilarious.
But then he drops a flare into a box of flares. Like he lights a flare and then drops it into the box full of them, and it explodes. But it's not TNT, it's flares.
It's flares.
So surely instead of blowing up the entire building, it would just glow. The whole building would just glow red or whatever.
It's just a disco, like.
Yeah, it would look like Amsterdam.
But even him doing that makes no sense because he's like, right, I'm gonna sacrifice myself and take all these vampires out. But he only like sets 3 of them on fire who all end up out anyway, surviving. They just dive in the snow. But also, he survived. He just got blown through a window. And he's just lying on the floor. And then someone ends up fucking curb stomping him, fucking American History Xing him on the fucking snow.
Bite the snow.
I don't get how he survived. It's like Looney Tunes logic.
Maybe I don't really know that much about flares and how they work. Maybe once they burn to a certain point, they also explode. I don't know. Or maybe like one end's a flare and the other end's TNT.
It depends which end you light.
Yeah. You can either alert people to your presence or destroy things.
Either way, you're alerting people of your presence. It's just when they arrive, you're either there or you're a red stain. I think most of this film is just people sitting inside having a chat while the vampires walk around outside having a chat, with occasional bits of people fighting each other not having a chat.
I think the film was great, but I was really disappointed by the ending.
Yeah, so do you want to go over like how the film wraps up?
Yeah, I was gonna. That's why I brought the point up. Thanks, Connor.
Okay.
Should have weighed at whatever his name is, Evan, or, you know, John,
Fucking
whatever.
Evanville.
Ben.
Even. Is he related to Evil?
Ben.
Yeah, so the way Eben kills the main vampire is he becomes a vampire by injecting himself with some of their blood, and then goes and hunts, the vampires. But he punches straight through the boss's face, which was the most ridiculous bit of the film. And then after that, he just dies holding the love of his life as the sun rises, and he just crumbles to ash. It ruined what was like a really good film. Like, honestly, I really, really like this film overall.
Yeah, me too.
I like the look of it, like the way it was put together. I loved the primal nature of the vampires themselves. It left a few questions around the vampires, like where they came from. The pacing was great.
What about you, Kof?
I'd give it quite a decent rating as well. It's just exactly exactly the same. Like, the ending just completely was a bit of a, like, you didn't have to do that to make it work. So I'd probably say a 7.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with a 7, maybe 7.5 as well. I think there's some stuff towards the start of the film that could have been cut down a bit more to get, like, into the action a bit quicker. But, yeah, I like how it was directed. I like the setting of the film. The concept of the film's really cool because, you know, there are real places on Earth where this 30 Days of Night thing actually happens. So to bring the vampire concept into that is always going to be a clever idea. So yeah, overall, a very, very solid film. A couple of things in there that could have been improved upon, definitely, but 30 Days of Night, of course, episode 30 of Friday Fright Time. You can catch all 30 episodes on both YouTube at Unleash the Ghouls, which you're maybe watching now, or you might be listening to this on one of the audio streaming services, in which case you can go and listen to some previous shows that we've done. Thank you very much for listening to this honest review, and we'll be back next Friday for another